We need you to take action now to protect your Second Amendment rights. The Second Amendment is under attack like no other time in history. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have pledged to take away your Second Amendment rights through gun bans, gun confiscations, and government regulations. Radical gun legislation has already passed in the House and now headed to the Senate for a vote. Joe Biden has taken action through executive orders. You can help protect your Second Amendment rights by texting JOIN SAF to 474747. The Second Amendment Foundation is the oldest and largest nonprofit foundation focused on protecting your Second Amendment rights. We urgently need you to text JOIN SAF to 474747 or go to joinsaf.org. Your right to own a gun is on the line. Text JOIN SAF to 474747 or call the 800 number on your screen right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Daily Bullet. My name is Paul Lathrop. I'm the Deputy Director of New Media for the Second Amendment Foundation. Joining me today, Lee Williams. Lee is one of the newest members of the team here at SAF. He is the editor-in-chief, I believe, of the investigative reporting project here at SAF. Lee, thanks for joining me today, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Paul. I've been looking forward to this all week.
Well, let's. What I want to get started with is you're known throughout the gun community as the gun writer. You've been doing investigative reporting for your entire journalism career, and we were talking pre-show. You've been a little bit of everywhere. You worked in my hometown of Sioux Falls for a while. I know you worked in Florida, and but you've now started working with the SAF, and one of your pieces came out today, and I want to talk about this one a little bit. It seems like, big shock, New Jersey is misbehaving. The New Jersey Attorney General, if people want to find this story, they can head over to thegunmag.com. The New Jersey Attorney General is going after and they're not a manufacturer. It's a company in Florida that's selling magazines. If I could, Lee, you wrote the story. You know it much better than I do. What's going on with this 22 Mods for All?
Well, 22 Mods for All, from what I'm told today, is just a heck of a little company. It's a mom and pop operation. They sell ARs, completed ARs. They sell components, uppers, lowers, and they sell a whole bunch of accessories for them. They got about 10 employees or less. They sold some mags, allegedly, to an undercover detective, and I'm putting undercover in finger quotes because having been in law enforcement, in my humble opinion, Paul, if you're calling yourself undercover and all you do is place ads online for products that are banned in your home state, that's not really that much undercover. Really not that much of a detective either. But, New Jersey has always been crazy. I worked at a paper in Wilmington, Delaware, which is right across the river from New Jersey. And as I wrote in the piece, I knew full well that if I took any weapons or mags or ammo and went across into New Jersey, I mean, you're looking at decades in one of their state prisons. So for whatever reason, they used to be satisfied with just enforcing the law against individual gun owners. Now they're crazy. Attorney General Grewal is going after out-of-state companies. He's targeting them through his undercover detective staff to get them to sell standard capacity magazines or some kind of firearm component that's banned in New Jersey. And then they go after them civilly. They start out with cease and desist letters, and then they try and get these companies to give them their client list in New Jersey. And you know damn well that if they do that, if they get that list of names, there's going to be knocks on doors all over the Garden State.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this, I am not an attorney, but my understanding of laws is there's things called jurisdictions. And if I'm sorry if a New Jersey judge tells me that I violated New Jersey law when I've never set foot in the state. I'm just about inclined to unbuckle the belt, lower the pants, and tell them to kiss somewhere uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we should point out that this judge in New Jersey didn't fine them for breaking any law. He fined them for refusing to comply with the Attorney General's subpoena for the names and addresses of all the gun owners that they have allegedly sold parts to. Now, in New Jersey, it might be a felony, but in Florida, and in all the other free states, 43 free states to be correct, that's not a problem. But for some reason, they're going after their firms, and they find them, or they're trying to find them, to the tune of $150,000, which is just unconscionable. I can't think of too many small businesses that can take a hit like that and survive. Which,
especially
after the folks
with less than 10 employees.
Oh yeah. That's why he's doing it. That is the reason, the method to this AG's madness. He's trying to shutter as many gun stores and gun shops as he can. Doesn't care where. He's done this in Texas. He's done this in other free states too. And it was just time to call him out.
I want to get in a couple comments here. Susan Meyer said, was just reading your email about this. God bless 22 mods for all. This
Absolutely.
Is absolutely unconscionable. As we were talking pre-show, I'm certainly hoping that this gun store eventually, this is going to take a while to get through the legal process.
Right.
I'm hoping that the state of New Jersey eventually ends up owing some attorney's fees to this little company in Florida.
Yeah, and it's an unfair fight. I couldn't agree more. I mean, here you've got the Attorney General who's got unlimited resources, courtesy of the New Jersey taxpayers, going up against this small shop that was just minding their own business, trying to put groceries on the table for them and their employees. It is a David and Goliath story, and I just hope they can come out of this unscathed. I have talked to a few attorneys who are interested in working with them. I hate to say on a pro bono basis, but hopefully that's something they can work out, because they're just doing their job, minding their own business. Next thing you know, they got the full weight of the state of New Jersey coming down on top of them.
Now, I don't mean to be blowing sunshine where it doesn't belong, so to speak, but I don't know how you came across this story, Lee, but this blew me away when I seen it today, and I'm more than happy to, use these airwaves to help shed light on it. But unless we do start throwing light on things like this, this behavior is going to continue, and more gun stores, more small businesses are just going to be railroaded by this Attorney General in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, and I mean, the commenter had it right. God bless them, because they refuse to turn over the names and addresses of their clients. That's a valorous act, in my humble opinion. They could have gotten away with no fine. They wouldn't owe the state $150,000 if they would have just turned over the names and addresses of the folks in New Jersey they may or may not have sold anything to. But they stood up. I mean, they're standing up for their clients, of course, if they have any in New Jersey. And they should be celebrated for that. They could eat $150,000 fine because they're trying to protect their people. And that, to me, is just an incredible move by this small firm.
A little bit off topic here, but over on YouTube, DJ Play Nice says, I've seen footage of storage containers full of 4473s and other paperwork being stored. All of that info that is supposed to be destroyed or vacated are there. What gives? That's my impression, is that information is never to be kept. That's not to be stored at all.
No, unfortunately, you've got some gun shop owners who probably need a little more education on the law. Or if they're talking at a government facility, then that needs to change immediately. I wrote a series of stories years ago in Delaware where the state police were keeping a record of gun owners. and the you-know-what hit the fan on that.
Mm-hmm. And then let's see here. A couple more people just checking in. And DJ Play Nice asked me to link the article, which I did over on YouTube. So let's see here. So Lee, this is not the first article you've written since you came on board with SAF. What else is in the hopper? What else have you done that you think you'd like to put some attention out there?
Well, really just the fact that what we're trying to create here, and this was the first story I've done, we've done 16 so far for the Second Amendment Foundation. What we're looking to do with the investigative reporting project is kind of energize the citizenry, your listeners, my readers, to get active and get involved. Send us their tips. You got to realize we're only about a month old, so we're still trying to stand this up as we can. But the more help, the merrier, because look at what the resources the other team could feel. I mean, you've got Biden and his administration versus individual gun owners, and we're seeing what can happen when the group of gun owners, is not listened to. I mean, look at what they're trying to do to ATF right now. You asked me for my most important story. The original story I did on Chipman for ATF, I think, resounds and rebounds. This man is an anti-rights activist. And unless we all call our senators and let them know that we oppose his nomination and they better do it too, he could become director of ATF. And yeah, during his confirmation hearing, which was a sham, he said he'd be bound by the Constitution, what that allows. That's really not correct. That's not the full story. Any law enforcement officer has discretionary powers, what they choose to enforce and what they don't. As the head of the ATF, he would have tremendous discretionary powers. Plus, he'd have access to the ATF's rulemaking ability. If you don't want your AR to be subject to NFA regulation, you need to contact your senators right now and tell them to oppose Chipman's nomination. Because he's working for the other team right now. He's working for the Giffords. He's worked for every town. I said in a story, putting him in charge of ATF would be like putting Howard Stern in charge of the FCC.
Yes. Very much so.
The two should be mutually exclusive. We don't need an anti-gun activist, an anti-rights activist in charge of the ATF.
The way I commonly put it is, it would be putting the person in the strategist at PETA in charge of meat inspections at USDA. Yeah,
that's a hell of an analogy too. And that's probably the most important story I've done. That was for Freddie and the crew at AmmoLand. This guy's got to go. And I'm talking to some folks kind of behind the scenes, and they're very concerned about his nomination. Okay, I've yet to hear anybody say, yeah, he's not going to get it. So now's the time. Contact your senators, go to SAF, find out who they are, join these groups, because, yeah, there you go. And while we're talking about contacting lawmakers, phone calls are great, emails are better, but the best way to contact your lawmaker is with snail mail. Okay, put a piece of paper in their hand, or in their staffer's hand, to be more succinct and more correct. That's the strongest way. So if you have time, write to your senators. Call by all means if you don't. Email's good, but actually send them some written correspondence telling them to oppose David Chipman's nomination as ATF director.
And what I've been saying for a long time now, for about 2 weeks, is as this Chipman thing has been brewing, when you call, of course, call that Capitol switchboard. That's the Washington, D.C. offices. But then hit the Google machine and find out where your senators have offices in your state. They're going to have 2 or 3. Yeah. Even in the small rural states, they're going to have 2 or 3 offices in your state. Call each of those offices too, because all you're going to be when you make those phone calls is a check mark. You might as well be 4 to 5 check marks rather than 1. It'll take you 30 seconds per phone call. So,
great advice.
Let's see here. Robert Wagner, when we were analyzing or putting analogies to Chipman, he said it would be like putting Joe Biden in the White House.
Yeah, who would ever do that? That's crazy.
Susan Myers has an interesting comment. She says she heard from a lobbyist that snail mail gets slowed down too much due to checking for anthrax type stuff, that by the time they get it, the issue is long since passed. I'd never heard that before.
I've never heard that either, Paul. That would be news to me.
Let's see here. Where am I at? Nate, I want to get Nate's comment in here. Too many have lost their lives to preserve our rights. I'll be damned if they try to take away my rights without a fight. Nate, great comment, but the way to fight, dude, is to start writing letters, start making phone calls, start sending emails. The way you fight right now is to bother your elected representatives. I want when the staffer answers the phone at your senator's office, I want them to go, oh my God, it's that Childs guy again. When that happens, you're doing it right.
Absolutely. Be vocal and be constant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing you touched on, Lee, but I want to amplify it on a little bit. You're looking for, and DJ Play Nice kind of touched on it a little bit. You're looking for tips. You're looking for things that people need to know about that you can dig into, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And national tips. I don't care where you live. And you can email me at lee@saf.org or give me a call on my cell phone. And I've put that out there since day one, 941-284-8553. My phone is always on. It's always with me. 941-284-8553. Just go ahead and give me a call. And I'm on Signal. I'm on Signal at the same number, which is important for people seeking anonymity. And anonymity is assured. If you don't want your name in a story, it's not going to be there.
Let's see here. I'm going to put this one up, although I don't know the answer to it. Any update on Illinois? I see they're purposing on the finger for printing the bill for Floyd. This needs to end. This is a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment as well as for citizens. I know. I read a story today that they're making changes to the Floyd card. You know, the SAF won a lawsuit a little over a month ago where the Floyd card was declared unconstitutional in the state of Illinois. I don't know. Maybe they're just changing it to try and comply with that lawsuit. I don't know. But with what I read today, it doesn't look promising.
No, and the Floyd card is an abomination. Okay, there's no other way to look at it. You do not need a permission slip from the government to possess firearms. You do not need the government to give you a card or a piece of paper saying it's okay to keep and bear arms. That thing needs to go. I'm hoping that our Supremes can do something about that.
You know, the best thing that Donald Trump did was get Amy Coney Barrett into the Supreme Court before the elections last fall. Yeah. With that fifth and a half conservative seat, because I'm not going to, Roberts is a half conservative, if you ask me. But 5 reliable conservatives or originalists in the Supreme Court, I think as long as we can keep 9 justices and not more in the Supreme Court, good things are going to come out of the court.
Yeah, I think we're going to be set up to see something really good come out of that New York case, the pistol case. I think they're already positioned to do it. The ruling that they had on the poor guy whose home was entered by law enforcement and they took his guns. I think what was written between the lines in that case about these red flag laws being borderline unconstitutional. I've talked to a few top cops and sheriffs, and they were struck by that. Some of them are starting to really rethink the whole red flag thing, because that's going to go down in flames if it gets before the Supreme Court.
And that was a 9-0 ruling.
Right. Right.
If you can get Sotomayor to say you were wrong, boy, you were really wrong.
Yeah. Clear violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Let's see here. One more. Warsaw Patriot. GOA and SAF needs to get on Illinois State ASAP. I know the SAF affiliates with the ISRA, Illinois State Rifle Association. We work very closely with them. I cannot say, I do not live in Illinois myself. I do not know the situation there right off the top of my head. So I can't speak deeply and off the top of my head about what's going on in Illinois right now. I'm very sorry. But
we're there, brother. SAF is there. GOA is there. It's fertile ground. It's one of the ground zeros. And, you know, being somewhat familiar with Illinois, you've got a great state with good people, and then you got Cook County and Chicago. And unfortunately, they carry the politics.
DJ Playable Ice wants to know, is there a better email ID than info@saf.org? Well, info just goes to the general email for SAF.
Right.
If you want to reach Lee, it's lee@saf.org, right?
Yeah, lee@saf.org, or I have my personal email, leewilliams762 @yahoo. Or just give me a call, brother, 941-284-8553.
And DJ is one of my regular commenters and has some of the best questions that I get on a regular basis come from DJ. Let me see here. What do we got going on here? I think we're pretty much caught up on the comments. So, and with it being Tuesday and a whole busy week coming up, I think we're going to shut this one down just a little bit early. Wait a minute. I want to get this one comment in here quick. Warsaw Patriot says, the Illinois citizens have been crying and demanding change to remove the FOID card system, period. They want their right backs. The 2A is not a privilege, period. That's what the lawsuit that the SAF won a little over a month ago said, is that the FOID card is unconstitutional because you cannot require a FOID card just to have a firearm in your home.
And that's out of control there, too. I mean, I've been in gun shops in Illinois where I had never even heard of a FOID card. Asked to see something behind the counter, the poor gun shop guy asked me for a FOID card before he can even hand me a weapon to look at. It is being misused. The whole FOID system is unconstitutional. The whole thing needs to go down.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna set this one aside. Lee, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, man.
My pleasure, Paul. I loved it. You have great listeners or viewers, whatever the hell you call podcast people, and great questions. I look forward to doing it again.
All right, folks. I do not know. I'm going to be doing the Mag 40 this week. I do not know if there's going to be a live 5 p.m. broadcast every day. I know if there is, it will not look like this. It will just be me and my cell phone from the range, and I will grab whoever I can. It maybe Masada, you will join me, maybe Charlie Cook riding shotgun with Charlie, or Amanda Suffolcool, or one of the other people from the range will join me. I'll try to keep doing a 5 o'clock broadcast every day, but I cannot promise every day right at 5 o'clock, but very close to that. I'll try to keep doing these. And I will promise you that come next week, Monday through Friday, we will get back to doing these 5 p.m. Central Time. Keep joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And we'll see you.